Hello, welcome. Always a pleasure learning together because everything we learn is designed for you to have the life you want. The problem, all of us, we've been lied to by these false teachers, these teaching, especially if you're on TikTok watching the garbage or if you're watching television. All the information they're giving you is wrong information, and this is why you are where you are today when it comes to relationship, because we've been filled with nothing than garbage. So today we're going to discuss what is the true power and beauty of a woman. What is it? We have no idea how powerful and beautiful a woman is, and we'll talk about men too. But to understand beauty and power of woman only come from one place and one place only. There is nothing else, and that's from God. It's not going to the gym. It's not losing weight. It's not having butt implant, lip, breast implant. It's not getting a PhD. It's not having six-figure. It's not having a big house, a big car. All of that is wrong. All of it. Because that's not what being great is about. Great mean is that you are not in this world anymore. You are with God. You are following His commandments, His laws. You directing your life according to what He says. And you being what He says for you to be, which is holy and modest. The number one thing God looks for a woman, that is the crown. When you talk about queen, a queen means modesty. That's what queen means in God's eyes. If you want to be a queen, you have to be a modest woman. And all of you, most people or women, they don't even know what that means, what modesty is. But we're not going to talk about that today. But to give you an idea what it means to be a holy woman, to be a powerful, beautiful woman you are created to be. And the only way to achieve that is through God. There is no other way. You've been lied to. Now, how powerful is a woman? Let's look at Abraham's wife. Abraham's wife was a greater prophet than Abraham. How can it be? Pretty much everybody knows about Abraham, the father of the Jewish people. How can his wife be greater than him? Well, let's look at some of them. One of the reasons that she could not give birth for 100 years almost is because God says she was so great, such a high prophet, such a spiritual, modest woman. He loved when she talked to him, when she prayed to him. He loved it so much, he wanted her to pray more and more and more. Think about this for a minute. God loved this woman's prayer so much, he held back her from having children so he can listen to her. Do you think God wants to listen to you? Think about that. Now, when she realized, because in the Jewish community, in the Jewish world, a man has to have a child, a male and a female. When she realized she could not give Abraham that, she sacrificed herself, wanting that to give her husband that child that she could not give him. She gave him, Abraham, to Hagar, the housewife, and she bare him a son. Now, of course, we all know the story. The son was no good. But again, did she do it out of selfishness? No. She sacrificed what she wanted to give her husband and what she wanted for herself. But just to make sure her husband does not violate God's laws, she sacrificed herself so her husband, Abraham, does not validated God's laws. That one was hard to come out. But this is how great she was. She wanted to make sure Abraham is following God's commandment. This is what she is. Okay, that's what she was. That's the kind of woman. Now, when that happened, God gave her, because of the great sacrifice and who she was, God made her wound young again. Made her young again. At 100 years old, she was able to give birth to Isaac. Everyone know who Isaac is. The greatest son, the perfect son ever been born. Isaac, the perfect sacrifice. That's what he was. The perfect son, the perfect sacrifice. Now, why did God give her that? Because that's how great she was. But let's go a step further. Because there was controversy that this not have been Abraham's son, because, you know, it goes back a lot of stuff. But God says, because of your greatness, Sarah, God gave Sarah a daughter. Yes, Sarah had a daughter. But the daughter did not live long. God says, listen, this daughter only going to be in the world for a couple of months. And she came into us, she bare a child, a daughter, and she gave birth. Now, this daughter, because what happened is, because Sarah could not have children for 100 years, you know how people talk, women like to talk in the community, wow, you're 100 years old, you didn't give no birth, this can't be your child. So God wanted to protect Sarah's honor by giving her another child again, giving her, getting her pregnant again, to give her another child so the community can see that she is blessed. God was the one doing all of this to her. Not only that, now the thing was, that was one of the greatest things of all. These women that was making fun of Sarah because she could not give birth, those who gave birth and they had young sibling, little infant, that they would not feed from their parents, from their mother. The children did not want their mother breast milk. And Sarah was able to feed all the children in her community through her breast milk. She was able to feed them through her breast milk. Can you imagine one woman feeding maybe 50, 60, 80 kids? Or I don't know how much, but just give you an idea. Because why? That was another miracle God did. So they can see Sarah is a holy and spiritual, righteous woman. God wanted to protect Sarah's honor, and he did that by making sure that their own children, those women that was making fun of Sarah, their own children would not want to feed from them. But she ended up feeding these other women children by breastfeeding them. So you see, a woman has tremendous power. It says a woman can make a man or break a man. A woman is the home. Because why? She's the glue that keeps everything going. Because of her, the husband will go and learn about God and sends the boys. And because of that, because of her being determined that her husband follow God's laws and commandment and her sons do the same, when she dies, she gets double the reward for encouraging and supporting her husband and the boys to follow God. Because why? The woman, yes, she's the helper, but you see, without her, we cannot be who we're meant to be. Because it is true, when a woman has a good woman, I will say this again for those of you who will take it out of context, I'm referring to a good woman that follows God. God, okay? Not just any woman. A good woman that follows God. When a good woman is following God, God is going to protect her. At the end, she will prevail. She will win. And all of those who are making fun will have a frown on their face, and they will go to her to ask her for blessing. Because why? They will know God is with her. And the only way you can be that perfect woman, which you have the potential, whether you choose or not is up to you. But these are for women who decides, who wants to be this greatness. Like Abraham, like Sarah, Isaac wife, Yaakov wife. These were great women. There were other women that was so holy. God, there was just one particular woman. She went to another rabbi, another teacher, a holy man, because her husband had died, to borrow money. And just for a little bit of her sleeve showed, she was bright like a sun. Just that much of her wrist shone, because the shirt slid down a little bit. It says her wrist was shining like the sun. And the only two people that was like that was Adam and Moses when he came down from Mount Sinai. His face was shiny. He had to put a cover over his face when he would talk to the people. That's how shiny he was. But a woman was able to achieve that same glow as Moses.